Not too long ago, if you wanted a gaming-focused audio experience, a headset was really your only choice. But with the rise in popularity of wireless earbuds like the AirPods, the number of gaming-focused products in this space is on the rise. This is a rapidly evolving category, and just like headsets, the number of features included in gaming earbuds is really starting to explode. The JBL Quantum TWS is JBL's first foray into the gaming earbud space, and they've clearly decided that the perfect number of features to include is more. This thing is what we Aussies call chockers with bells and whistles. Active noise cancelling, ambient pass-through, touch controls, a microphone, and dual source wireless, just to name a few. It's reasonably inexpensive too, retailing at $230 Australian or $150 US. I've been using the TWS in my setup for over a month now, and I've found myself reaching for them more often than not. So let me tell you why I like them so much. Okay, technical specs first. The frequency response is 20Hz to 20 kHz. It has active noise cancelling as well as ambient pass-through. Wireless is handled by a low latency 2.4 GHz signal when connected via the dongle, and a Bluetooth 5.2 connection for Bluetooth devices. The dongle connects via USB-C and works with PC, Mac, PS4, PS5 and the Switch. It'll connect to most Bluetooth devices, but obviously not the PlayStation or Nintendo's handheld. It also doesn't connect to the Xbox in any way whatsoever. Wireless range isn't listed on JBL's website, but in my testing it seems to be in line with their other headsets at 10 meters or 30 feet. All of the features are operated by a single touch control on either earbud that also gives you access to Siri and Alexa. The weight per earpiece is 5 grams, and they have a water resistance IPX4 rating. This will cover you against sweat and light rain. As usual, battery life with devices that have loads of features is complicated. The maximum playtime is 8 hours. This is without any of the bells and whistles turned on using either the 2.4G or Bluetooth connection. Like most wireless earbuds, the case provides some extra juice, and here it's an additional 16 hours. That gives you a maximum playback time of 24 hours in total. I found that while using the noise cancelling and either the dongle or Bluetooth, this roughly halved the battery life. Measuring battery life when connected to the dongle and Bluetooth was kinda difficult because you can't use them simultaneously. I'll explain how dual source works when I talk about how they sound, but at a guess, based on my experience, you get about 2 to 3 hours when using both. Charging them is done by placing them in their case, and it takes 2 hours to charge from flat to full. It also has a pretty good fast charge feature, which will give you 3 hours of playback from a 15-minute charge. The design is similar to the AirPods, with a long arm that sticks out of your ear. They're quite discreet once they're in your ear, and as far as earbuds go, I find them pretty comfortable. There are 3 different tip sizes included in the box, although I reckon they could probably include an extra small size too. The smallest tip feels okay for me, but my wife struggles to fit them in her tiny ears. Worst case scenario, you can just use some aftermarket tips or some tips you already own. The case is pretty chunky, although it's made out of a lightweight plastic, so it weighs almost nothing at 56 grams, and this is including the earbuds. It doesn't feel as premium as some other metal cases, but I wouldn't say that it feels cheap. I don't have an issue with the size because it has space to hold the dongle, which is more important to me than being able to fit it in my jeans pocket. Like a lot of wireless earbuds, they snap satisfyingly into place using magnets, and you get some lights on the outside of the case that let you know how much charge they have. My only complaint with the design is that it's almost impossible to put them in your ear without touching the controls and turning features on and off. Needing to mess around with features every time you put them in is a pain in the ass. If the touch controls could be deactivated when you're not wearing them, this would be ideal. Thankfully, changing settings is as simple as a tap on either earbud. Both earbuds have touch controls that give you full control over the settings. Tapping is fast and intuitive, and unlike a headset, it's kinda nice having a single control for everything, rather than having to remember which button or dial does what. The touch controls will tell you what action you've just performed, so you don't have to remember a bunch of arbitrary beeps and boops. You can customize the touch controls in the app too. So let's talk about the app. The companion app will let you do a ton of different things. You can manage the power settings such as standby and automatic power off. You can configure the sound settings like the EQ. You can change the source from 2.4G to Bluetooth. It even has a feature to help you find them should they fall behind the couch. There are also a couple of setup wizards to help you configure the fit, as well as to help dial in the noise cancelling. You can of course use the Quantum Engine software on PC to make a lot of these changes too, it just doesn't do everything. Overall, the app is incredibly easy to use and comprehensive, and it's by far the best of its type that I've used to date. With everything the TWS does, I was fully prepared to be underwhelmed with how they sound, but they perform well in this department too. There's no competition with any of the IEMs that I own, but they deliver a well-rounded sound that's not as bass heavy as I expected. For gaming, the focus is a crisp low latency experience, whereas for music and other types of media, you have a bit more flexibility with sound setup. There's plenty of easy to understand EQ presets to choose from, or you can create your own custom levels on the fly via the app. Active noise cancelling is great. It easily cuts out background noises like an air conditioner and even some more abrasive sounds like my neighbour's dog that never shuts up. Ambient passthrough is also well implemented. It doesn't sound tinny or artificial. I found the factory volume setting for this to be bang on, but you can change it in the app if you like. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, the TWS has dual source wireless, which means that they have both Bluetooth and 2.4G. Unlike a lot of headsets though, you can only use one connection type at a time. You can't use them simultaneously. So you can't listen to game audio while talking on your phone. You'll need to manually switch between the two using either the app or the touch controls. Answering an incoming call will automatically switch from the dongle to the Bluetooth though. It's definitely not as sexy as having dual connectivity, but having access to both connection types in such a small device is still pretty neat.
Here's the mic test, and I know what you're going to say, they don't sound like a studio microphone, but considering how small the microphone is, it's impressive. It uses a beamforming microphone, which is designed to cut out background noise, making your voice sound clearer. Although the sound quality takes a bit of a hit, I haven't had any complaints from people on the other end about background noise or not being able to hear me clearly. This includes times when there's been a screaming child in the same room as me. You can mute the mic too, and like everything else, this is done using the touch controls.
I really like these, they're super practical and convenient. Changing settings is much easier than most headsets, the battery life is good, the app gives you a decent amount of control, and on top of all of that, they sound great. Like all earbuds, I find the TWS a little uncomfortable for long sessions, so for this reason I still prefer a headset. That said, their size and ease of use make them a really great option to have in your setup. In situations where I need to use a headset but don't want to wear something bulky and want to keep things wireless, they fill a gap in my setup I didn't realize I had. The fact that you can use them like a regular pair of Bluetooth earbuds also gives them a huge amount of utility outside of gaming. If you're after a do-it-all pair of wireless earbuds that don't cost a small fortune, then these are an easy recommendation.